One of the things that I have heard that you speak about a lot is developing independent learners and helping students. You're talking about their passion and helping them grow their love of writing from a place of experience. But you also talk about independent learning, and that's something that I'm actually very passionate about myself. So share with us some tips and ideas on how to get our students to become independent learners.
Yeah, well, this is one of the things that brought me to homeschooling when I was a classroom teacher, and Leanne, you may be able to speak to this too from your own experience as a classroom teacher. I taught gifted kids. You had to have an IQ higher than mine to get in my class. And I taught at the high school level. And I just wondered what in the world had happened to these kids, that they had lost all of their love for learning. So many of these kids were disengaged, and here they were, kids who were deemed had the greatest potential. And I realized the system turns them into dependent learners. And so when I began homeschooling, I knew, like, I don't want to recreate that for my own kids. And I became convinced God's plan is for our kids to be independent, like self-motivated, in love with learning, you know, scholars, lifelong learners, and really that you see in toddlerhood, that's supposed to characterize the lifespan. It's never supposed to change. The way that toddlers are inquisitive and exploring and don't need us to organize their time or buy them a curriculum, they just are inquisitive. We want to shepherd that and steward that. And so I do think there's things that we as homeschool parents can do. We got to support that intrinsic love for learning. We got to value their passions and their interests. We need to engage them in the process. So, like at the beginning of Writers in Residence, I tell the kids, hey, if you don't think that this is interesting to you or important, you write me. Here's my email. Tell me what you'd like me to do to make this more engaging for you. I want them to know they have a voice, and what they feel and think and believe and imagine matters. And so part of what you need to do in writing is give kids an audience. So we as parents need to first serve as an audience to what they write and respond as readers to what they write, not as critics. And so we want to help them edit and connect with their readers more, but not just to get a grade from us. I mean, what do you write on your blogs to get a grade? Is that what you write to connect with your readers? So,
and we actually don't like it when people come in there and critique us, right?
Yeah, so. Yes, or give you a list of all of your grammatical errors that you've made. Yeah, I know there's folks out there that feel called
to do that.
It's very demotivating, right? It's not what motivates us, and it's the same with our kids. So now, in Writers in Residence, in particular, we've built a lot in to help kids function as much on their own as possible. Like, they need your support. They need you to talk and discuss and evaluate and give them feedback. But we've tried to organize it so they know what they're supposed to do. There's a nice checklist at the end of each module. They get to check off what they've done. They evaluate their own writing. We have an evaluation tool called a rubric where they give themselves points. Then you have a copy. You give them points. They get feedback. So that's part of what I think is in Writers in Residence that helps to support independence. We give them a lot of choice, too. If you want your kids to be independent learners or self-motivated, it's like, hey, what do you want to write about? Here are the parameters. Okay, so here's the criterion. But so you get to choose within those parameters. So when you have choice, we've found that kids remain more motivated, self-motivated, and engaged.